There we go. Well, I'm so honored and thrilled to have two amazing women with me tonight for our semi-monthly. We have these webinars in Growth U every few months because we love to come and share tangible, real strategies for you to use when you leave this webinar. So we really thought that at this time of the year, as we're coming out of winter and into spring, many people are struggling as they come out of a darker time of year, and having real tangible ways to elevate your mood is what you're going to leave with this evening. And what we want to tell everyone is that this is not a replacement for mental health support or medical support. So now across the United States, we have something called 988. So if you need mental health support, you can dial 988 in Canada and the US for mental health support. So if you need that, know that that is there for you North America wide. So we wanted to start with that to make sure that anybody that is either watching this on replay or coming live that feel like you need extra support, that's there for you. And if you feel like you need just some few tips to boost your mood, you're going to go away with some really fun tips this evening and a little history of Growth U. So many of you who are here live watching with us and are watching on replay have either received free daily growth, have done a Growth U program, and know what Growth U is. And we are so fortunate to have one of the founders of Growth U, Tanya Revere, who, when I first started Growth U many years ago, before I was involved in leadership, she was one of my first advisors. Tanya has supported thousands of people before Growth U was Growth U in programs like Transform U and the Four Colors. And even before those programs were what they are now, she supported people with the principles that we use here in Growth U every day to support people in becoming the truest versions of themselves and discovering who they really are. And then Laura Hyman joined Growth U around the same time I did, and we have come as participants and then advisors and leaders in Growth U. And we really love to support people in growing and achieving their visions in whatever area of their life they're working on. So, as I said today, if I can get my screen to move, there we go. This time of year sometimes is a challenge for people. And what we want everyone to go away with is ideas to be able to change your mood on the spot. Now, one of the things before I get Tanya to share a little bit of her story of how Growth U was started and what an impact I know that it has had in her life, we just wanted to talk briefly about the 4 pillars of mental health. And so right away, if you take nothing else away tonight, we want you to remember that sleep is key for our well-being. If we're not getting enough sleep, then it's very difficult to change our state, be aware of our emotional needs and meeting them proactively, and just feeling well and being optimal in our physical health. So sleep is number one. And then in no particular order, exercise, nutrition, and self-love are real pillars in supporting our mental wellness. So Tanya, I wanted to ask you, and I'm just going to stop sharing for a moment. I wanted to ask you, first of all, thank you so much for joining and sharing your wisdom. Like I said, you know more about Growth U than probably anybody else on the planet besides Rod Hairston, the other founder of Growth U. And you've been key in developing many of the programs and models that we use today over the last many years. So can you tell us a little bit about your story and in how you discovered Growth U and what an impact it's had on your life?
Absolutely. Can you hear me okay?
Mhm.
Good? Okay, thank you. Denise, you're always so gracious and flexible whenever technology is not always working so perfectly. So thank you for being an
Uh-oh,
example
we
for
froze.
all of us.
Mm.
It's been a long time since I've done one of these webinars and really put myself in a position to connect with the community. I think in a lot of ways, I have been doing a lot of deep inner work and growth and healing. And I've been reminded so much lately that we're always moving through different cycles of growth. And sometimes we're more in the limelight and we put ourselves out there more. And other times we want to be a little bit more introverted and we want to go within and we really want to, you know, move through whatever it is we're moving through. And so I'm just honoring my own season of growth. And it does feel good to be back and to be on this webinar and sharing. Um, yeah. So the other thing is, when we first started Growth U, this was maybe 15 years ago now, which is crazy to think about. But we were, Rod had a company, a consulting firm that really primarily worked with corporations, small and big companies, and he would develop all of their academies and their onboarding and help them with sales, with leadership, with operations. And he was bringing these really powerful models of identity and behavior and just how our mind works and how it's wired. And I was like, the company I was working for at the time, it was one of Rod's clients. And I remember going through onboarding thinking, this is really incredible training that we're getting. I feel like this isn't really the typical norm that you would be getting in a company. I really felt like the value was so strong. And anyway, I just tucked that away. And then about 90 days later, I was invited to a 1-day seminar with Rod. And after that, there was a 45-day integration program. And that's when I really started to learn what this stuff was all about. And I realized that I remember like being in the program and it was like toward the very end. And I thought, if we learned this stuff as young people, as children, our life would be so different. And I remember feeling in that moment that this is a really strong purpose for me that I hadn't felt really ever up until that moment. That these models, these tools, these programs, the simple real world application of how our mind, like we're not born with an instruction manual, nor are our parents born with one. It's like we learn so strugglesome sometimes. And by no means am I saying that's the wrong way. Hey, everything is the way it needs to be for us to learn. Our parents are doing the best that we can. We do the best that we can. Those that are coming and being born to this world are going to be doing the best that they can within the world that we're all living in. I just know how helpful would it be if we understood how our mind worked at such a young age and we understand like the process and the growth cycles and these tools because how we feel actually really matters. That's how we're creating our reality. And so that was really the mission that I fell very quickly into was we have to bring this to the world. And outside of companies, if an individual wanted to invest in going deeper and learning these programs, or if somebody wanted to refer their mother, brother, sister, friend, whoever to the program, that's when Growth U was born so that people could go to their own personal university and learn all this stuff. And since then, we have built at least 20 different programs that touch every area of life and that can meet anybody right where you are, just depending on what you want to focus on and what you want to grow from. So it's been quite a journey and it's been a really rewarding one. And yeah, that's how it started.
There we go. I'll unmute while I talk. I think we have almost 30 programs in the catalog now. And you've had a hand in developing most of them, Tanya. We talk about identity shifting, right, in using our programs. And we talked tonight about being able to shift our mood on the spot. So talk a little bit. I'm going to ask Laura the same question about, because Laura has been around as long as I have, just about how we use these programs to proactively meet our emotional needs. And so, can you tell us a little bit about how we do that with these programs, that when we use proactive focus, um, how does that affect how our moods play out?
Is that for Laura or for me
Sorry,
or?
that was for you first,
Oh,
and
got
then
you.
we're gonna ask Laura. Yeah,
Okay, I'm actually going to share a slide really quick.
love it.
Um, so our identity is made up of our habits and our beliefs and really just our programming. And I don't think too often we think about how we feel and the emotions that we feel as habits, but they are like how you feel at any moment throughout the day, right? When you wake up, different parts of your home, different times, anytime, anywhere you are are dealing with and responding to habits, and their habits of thought, habits of feeling, and habits of activity. And so we know at the unconscious level, our identity is made up of these it's like we don't even realize sometimes why we feel in a bad mood or in a low mood, or why we can't change our state. And the reason we don't is because once a habit has locked into place for at least 20 to 30 days, and then repetitively thereafter, it becomes part of our unconscious mind, which is part of our identity. So all the significant emotional events that we have ever experienced in our life, from fear, from regret, to a possible abandonment, to rejection, to success, to new life, like all the full spectrum of emotion, significant events in our life have been imprinted into these barometers and these sort of like bumper guards. Like if you went bowling and then you were like, throwing the ball down, like just putting yourself forward into life, there's these bumper guards that basically say, no, don't go there. No, don't go there. Don't feel that. Don't feel that. Or feel that, feel that, feel that. And we don't know what those emotional bumper guards are, but they're there. And then our conditioning, what do we do repetitively over and over? The habits that we built, the good habits, and also the ones that aren't supporting us. And then our environment shapes our identity a lot too. So the way we feel in certain environments, around certain people, around like, I mean, this plays such a big role in our moods, probably more so than any of us really realize. And that's what this program brings out, is how are all these factors playing a role, and how do you create the moods through emotion more intentionally to feel how you want to feel.
Mm-hmm. And so, Laura, I know that you love music, and this is a little preview of what we're going to talk about in a moment. Uh, how has music been a key for your growth, and in how you support proactively choosing your moods in your day, week, month, year?
Mm. Ooh. Well, before Growth U, I used music to escape. So I used it for a reason. I could go into a song and just escape in the words, or even just the music, the feeling that you get. Since Growth U, I agree with Tanya. I'm more intentional about how I want to feel. And I used music to get away from things. And now I find myself using music to create a new mood, to feel something. And I found that even going outside of what I normally listen to, music is universal. My husband's a musician. We've been together 45 years, and I have watched people judge someone, and then as soon as someone starts singing, the judgment goes away. As soon as they get into the music and into the moment of the music and the place where it's at and everything, it's energy. And sad music will make us cry. Happy music will make us laugh. Some music will take us on a journey of discovery, of a new mood that you might have that you never knew before. So, and then putting it together with the models that we have here at Growth U. I guess what I learned the most from was that I have choice. And I lived 51 years not knowing I had a choice in life. Yet I still made a lot of choices. But now I can attach what I need to for it. I can attach happiness. I can attach love. And I don't focus on, I need music to take me away from something anymore. Now I'm in life and now I'm curious. What's next? You know, what mood, what new thing am I going to learn to get me through life, through growth?
Mm,
So
love
that's it's a powerful tool, music. Absolutely.
And what we know from a brain science perspective is that music can actually change our physiological state. So when we choose it intentionally, to Tanya's point, right? When we're choosing something consistently day after day, this is what the unconscious brain. So she talked about those, the conditioning and the imprinting, things that we use unconsciously and habitually. So that's what the unconscious brain recognizes, is what we do consistently every day is what we are. And so what we've discovered in using the models we do at Growth U, and this is psychology, I mean, this isn't new. We're just beautifully packaging principle and model that have been around for a long, long time. If not 100 years, a couple of 100 years, really, since since man has been around, our brains have learned, imprinted, and conditioned in this very consistent way. So what we know is that when we use music, we can change our physiology to choose an emotional state. And so Laura talked about it. This is one of our superpowers, is the power to choose how we are going to feel about a set of conditions. So when we proactively learn what helps us to feel better in a set of conditions, we can practice that. And so this is something that has been created, and this is a little sneak peek. This is a program that we're going to be running in a couple of weeks that Tanya will talk about in a second. But we have developed this program. Yeah, is there a question?
Gabrielle Rose in the chat that said, this is called it so serendipitous. She recently began doing the same, choosing classical for relaxation and inspiration.
Yes,
So
yeah, I love that, Gabrielle. Thanks for pointing that out, Paul, in the chat. So yes, music can help us to change how we feel. And when we know what music makes us feel a certain way, now we can start to practice using that music to support the moods that we want to feel throughout a day, a week, or how we even want to respond to sets of conditions. So Tanya, I know that you've got a little slide about mood boosters. Do you want to pull that up and tell us a little bit about how this program was developed?
Absolutely. I'm going to share a slide that actually you're going to get in the program, the Mood Boosters program. And it's a mantra that we created with the 10 states that matter in terms of your well-being. And you're going to learn a lot about these states in the program. Let me go ahead and share though. 1 second. But we're going to share this with you now on this webinar. And yes, you'll see it in the program as well, but please enjoy feeling into these states a little bit now, and realizing that, as I share this information with everybody, you're going to kind of see how this all comes together. So I want to start by giving just a little bit more insight into, as human beings, what we're wired for. So we are all meant to feel good in life, but I don't know that everybody in our world is programmed to accept that we are meant to feel good. And that really we're always seeking. Everybody is this, human being seeking how to feel good, how to feel more alive, and how to feel better. Like we're all innately searching for that, even if it doesn't seem like it. That is like the spirit within all of us, because life wants to grow and life truly is all about love. And so we are here to grow and to love more. And that's really when we are our happiest. So when we're not happy and we're not feeling alive, it's because we're probably not growing and we're not feeling love and we're not leading with love. And feeling good is really an inside job. So the moment that we base it on external factors, like you were saying, what are all the conditions? We are in a very tough spot because we're all at the mercy of the conditions, the people, the circumstances, which are always going to be in flux. So our moods will be in flux as well. Not only is the unconscious part of how our moods are developed, potentially not even conscious because we're not intentional. We don't always know how it was developed in the first place. We're going to start moving more intentionally with our moods. We also know the outside circumstances are always changing too. So, wow, we as humans are doing so much just to feel good and to grow and to learn and to adapt to everything that's going on around us. It's pretty incredible. The mind, the body, and the spirit are designed to always be moving us closer into a state of well-being, to a state of wellness. And if we don't feel that, then what's happening is life is trying to get our attention so that we can clean up some things. We can clean up some beliefs perhaps, or some habits, or some environments. We're all moving through different seasons in our life right now. So everyone on this planet is facing their own set of challenges. It's really how we learn and come into remembrance of who we really are, which is love, here to adapt and grow. And it's the simplest way of saying it. And it is. When we accept and embrace that, it really starts, things just become a little bit more clear and less complicated. Some areas of our life are going to be stronger than others. We're going to be thriving, and some areas need some extra attention and support. All of these moods that you see here will support you wherever is needed. It's like triage. It's like your body's always moving to heal, to balance itself. So what do you need? Well, we need support. We need each other. We need to be able to ask for help and seek guidance. And boy, do I know this. Oh, it's so truth coming out from my own personal experience right now. If I did not seek guidance and ask for help from my community and people that are experts in what I needed help with, I would not be on this call with you right now. It's that pivotal that we ask for what we need. And that's why these programs in this community exist, because we have a whole team of certified advisors who know these growth models and tools inside and out and are vulnerable, and they're growing right alongside you and us, and everyone brings their strengths to the table. We take turns giving strength. We take turns pouring belief into people. We take turns clearing paths for people for new learnings. And as I mentioned, I'm going through a lot of change and a really tough season in my life right now. And this is truly when I have doubled down and reached into everything that we teach. Going through a valley, if you are going through any valley, if you are going through any struggle right now, we have you. We're here for you. This is when hope and faith and prayer is everything. And you're throwing out lifelines, and we are here for you. If we can't serve you in some way, we will make sure there are people that you connect with that can support you, as Denise opened up the call with. And this is why I'm co-leading this program right now. I have been reminded so poignantly that these programs are needed now more than ever in this world, especially with the state of our country and our world. It can be hard to feel good naturally and organically with everything going on. And it's sometimes when we are feeling good, it can also feel very short-lived. And sometimes not feeling good is showing us that we need to clean up some things. And in order to create an instant feel-good state, you can do that. And it can also serve as a healing pathway for you. And that's the beauty of it, is you can't really get this wrong, because we're always moving to, as our homeostasis, the way we're wired as humans is to want to feel good. That is our optimum, and that's how we create. So if you're not feeling good, it's tuning into your body. What does your body need? And that's the beauty of this program, is that we're always going to be contending with the outside and the fear and the uncertainty of not knowing and the need to want to control and all the things that are part of our human experience. Without that fear, we wouldn't need to learn about confidence and courage and peace and all the things in front of you right now. So we're grateful for fear. We're accepting what is in our path right now so that we can remember and learn more of what we truly are, which is love and our need to adapt and grow. So the more we're patient and we're willing to start over and over again, the more we find ease, and the more we start to see what needs attention. It's all about programming. The first cause is always mental, and then we feel and act out our program behavior. So with Mood Boosters, when we designed this, it was back in 2021 during COVID, when we were all disconnected, and this program was so fun to create. We paired up with one of the most talented musicians in all of Austin, Texas, Mr. Reggie Carter, who created original music that calibrates and vibrates exactly with each one of these power moods. Music with meditation, how to moving your body a certain way, having affirmations, having the mindset to match the state. You're getting all of that for 30 days. So for 1 month, you get to tune into yourself and see what things pull away at your 10 power states. And awareness is going to be so much fun for you, because you're going to notice the thoughts and patterns that lift you up and the ones that cause you pain or bring you down around confidence, accepting yourself in any situation, being more courageous, pouring belief into yourself, really knowing what gratitude feels like at this point in your life, increasing your ability to stay focused on your goals, knowing how to be more vibrant and what that really even means, learning what loving yourself truly is, developing your ability to enjoy any moment, and cultivating your inner peace. That is
Love.
all in this program for 30 days.
Tanya, can you hit just slideshow on your deck, and that'll make that a little bit bigger so people can, if you hit slideshow over to the right, yeah.
Oh, sure. Yeah, sorry about that.
Oh, no, that's okay.
Here we
Beautiful.
go.
Oh, love it. And so, as Tanya said, we're giving you a sneak peek here. You'll be able to go in and use these affirmations and try them on and see what they feel like. So each one of these affirmations is tied to the state that Tanya just described, right? I got this. Confidence. I embrace me. Self-acceptance. Ready or not. Courage. Here I be. Self-belief. Value I am. Gratitude. With clarity I see. Goal focus. Alive with purpose. Vibrancy. Freedom of love is me. Self-love. Feel the power, your enjoyment, and then allow to be peace. And when these are all tied to music, these are really magical statements. And it becomes this beautiful mantra that many people, I know that one of our advisors has this on her wall. She printed it off and she uses it every day. So Laura, I know you're nodding your head. What would be, so big surprise, everyone. We are running this program, Mood Boosters, March 18th. when you've registered for this webinar and we have your email, we're going to email you a special code that will get you $50 off being able to do this program starting March 18th. And we would love, now there's a limited number of spaces, so you're going to want to register pretty quick. And we'll send you all the information in an email along with the recording of this webinar that you can watch again. But Laura Hyman, what's one thing you would tell people that you don't want to miss this and why they want to take this program in a couple of weeks? I guess it's like a week and a half.
Yeah. Oh, you don't want to miss this. Because you deserve it. You know, we don't stop enough for ourselves in any of these situations. And why not spend 30 days on yourself, improving how you feel and being able to, like, there's a lot of us that keep this up on our walls and watch it, because when you do something consistently over and over for 30 days and longer, it's sustainable, it stays with you. And your moods are around all the time, and the triggers are around all the time. So why not be in control of that? Why not be the one that says, I got this today? You know, start your day with that, with your confidence, and embrace yourself. From someone who didn't know what self-love was most of her life and realizing it just recently, yeah, I'm changing my stories. I'm changing the story of my life because I have these tools, because I know that it works, and I know that every single person on this planet has the ability to do this. You just don't know what you don't know. So why not?
Why exactly? Why not? Now, Ali in the comments,
She said,
Petrosky.
Can you be more specific about what I might take away or what the daily offering might look like?
So each day in these programs, you're going to log in and there's going to be a beautiful video of the music that Reggie has created around each of these affirmations. And then there'll be some prompting to ask you questions about what you want in this mood, right? So for example, confidence. What do you feel around confidence? What do you tell yourself when you're going into a situation that you need more confidence? And it goes through each of these states each day and builds through the 30 days, so that as you go through the program, you are consistently focusing on what you want to feel around a mood, and it ties that mood to music, so that that's a layering of experience for your nervous system to anchor what you want to focus on in that mood. So as you consistently focus on what you want around each mood and anchor it to music, now your nervous system is focusing on a new habit, and you're proactively meeting your emotional needs as you go through the program. So it's conditioning, using music to help to proactively choose the moods you want to feel around each of these states. Tanya, is there anything else you would say about what people are going to get daily through the program?
Yeah. So what you said, and every day in the program has a coaching video that's at least 5 minutes, approximately. And that is going to be alternating, where I'll be in the videos on certain days, and then Bobby Jean, another certified advisor on our team, who is just, it's
Amazing.
you will fall in love with her. She has so much beautiful wisdom and energy, and very congruent when you listen to the messages around each of these moods. So you're going to get the mindset piece of it, the affirmation piece of it, how to move your body with each one of these, tips on that, the music that pairs with it, and a meditation. So you're going to get to know these moods very well and how you want to embody them, what holds you back from embodying them, And then how can you create them more consistently? And we move through 3 levels of them. So we move through all 10 in the first 10 days. Then we kick it up a notch, and then we go deeper into the next level 2 of all 10, and then level 3 of all 10. And we just follow that sequence. And by the end of this program, you will absolutely be empowered with these 10 mood boosting power states that you can create on demand in any situation that you're facing.
Thank you, Tanya.
Yeah.
So, we all love the process of growing and learning how to proactively choose the way we want to be, who we want to be, and what we want to have in all areas of our life. And this program is a natural extension and creation of the team here that combine music to really enrich the process. So we would love for y'all to join us March 18th. You'll all get an email with this recording that you can watch again. It'll also be up on YouTube, and you'll receive a code that will get you a special 50 off if you want to join us. We would love, and I know that, like Laura said, you don't want to miss this. You really don't want to miss this. You are going to have better control and choices over what you feel, and accessing moods that will support you more confidently, lovingly going through the world. Anything else, Tanya, Laura, before we finish up? And thank you so much for everybody who's here live and has asked great questions.
I just wanted to remind everyone that we will meet once a week also on Zoom, and
Yes.
share with each other, because that's where we really learn from each other. When you can get different people's perspective of these things going on in life, that's where we grow the most, is when we can do it together. And that's what's so beautiful about this community.
Thank you, Laura. Yeah. Thank you for that information. That there's a weekly call that we all join and learn from each other. I'm just going to go through the questions here, see if there's anything else. Any other questions? Somebody from Blind Bay, BC. Beautiful.
Joanne Britton.
Okay. Okay. I love it. Tanya, any closing remarks? Anything else you want to share before we finish up tonight?
How we feel matters. It really, really matters. And there's so much wisdom that comes from it. And it's so conditioned for us to feel a certain way. And how cool is it that we can choose how we want to feel? And we know we're going to learn so much about ourselves, to appreciate ourselves and everything we've gone through and everything that we're about to experience in this next version of ourselves, this next chapter of ourselves. So my last thing I would say is, if you're on the fence, like, give yourself this gift. I feel like with Growth U, we're really just this incredibly sweet tasting and smelling onion. Every time you say yes and you dive in and you take a program, or you take the next program, or you actually get to know somebody in our community, it's like it just keeps getting better. And you just peel back another layer and you're like, wow, are you guys for real? Do you really practice all this stuff? Do you really live what you teach? And it's like, we do. Do we love each other? We do. Are we vulnerable? Yes. Like, we are. This is life. Nobody in this community is above growing. Nobody has it all figured out. We are all here growing together and moving through all these cycles together. And it's just an incredible support system I can't think of a better time in our world right now, for you to plug in if you haven't plugged in yet. Like, we're here for you.
Yeah. And we know that the world needs more love.
Yes.
And if all of us love ourselves and each other a little bit more, that matters. And so that's one of our tenets here. And we could talk about that for hours. All of us. We really could. And we want to be mindful of time. Allie did ask about day and time of the team calls. We know that it's going to be an evening. You'll receive that information in the email that we send out. The team is busy organizing behind the scenes and lots of moving pieces. And you'll get that information when you get the email with the registration and code and all of the information about the program. And if you don't have time to join us, we know that there'll be another program coming in the future, but really, please, we want to see you in Mood Boosters March 18th.
And if you have done a program, you can join the mastery program. too.
Exactly. Yeah. So
What
thank you.
What did he say?
He said, if you have done a program, join us in Mastery too.
Oh, yeah. Mastery. That's, oh man, is that where the fun is?
That is where the fun is.
That's the community aspect of really what makes, is at the heart and soul. We actually know, we don't really ever feel like we're done growing. And once you plug into this community, you want to be in the mastery community because we get to literally look at every area of your life and lift you up and support you in some really cool ways. What's cool though, is even though we're in mastery, we want to specifically elevate ourselves at each level of growth. And so we take these 30, 45, and 60-day programs. Like, for example, many of us just finished the health and energy one because it was the beginning of the new year. And so we got laser focused for 60 days together, really held each other accountable to, you know, more wellness habits. So we're never done growing. We're always growing. And that's being human. So why not do it with support? That's our philosophy.
Yes. We know you will love it. And we love you. And we really hope to see you in a week and a half, March 18th. Thank you, Laura. Thank you, Tanya. Thank you for all of you here live. Thank you for those watching on the replay. We will see you in a call and a program very soon.
Yeah. Thank
Have
you,
an amazing
Denise. Beautiful
rest of the
job.
Thank
Bye.
you.
Thank you,
Night.
Laura.
Thank
Mwah.
you. See you all soon.
Yay.
Bye-bye.